Oh no. There's a new Marvel series, isn't there? Hello and welcome back to Nerddom. My name is Matt, and yes, there is a new Marvel series, Agatha All Along. Or is it Agatha Darkhold Diaries? Or is it Agatha Stole Your Lunch Money? Yes, they finally landed on a title for this, and it was totally Agatha playing with reality. It wasn't Disney trying to figure out what to do with this series. Yes, the second Disney TV show to include witches and chanting.
The power of one, the power of two, the power of many.
Now we're going to be going full spoilers right off the bat with this show. There's 2 episodes that dropped a couple of nights ago. So again, full spoilers, just warning you now. And yeah, let's get into it.
Gang's all here, let's hit the road.
So Agatha is still underneath Wanda's spell that she was put under in the one and only season of WandaVision. Agatha is seen as a hard-boiled murder homicide detective who it's got all the cliches of, oh, you were kicked off the force, but you're back because this is a very special case, that kind of thing. And the tone here it starts kind of weird because it's a deadly serious, True Detective. If you've seen the first season, it's pretty freaking dead serious. And you get that little bit of seriousness play that we're in here. There's a little bit of continuity issues that I've seen in the first episode. Like in one moment, she's picking up the brooch from the water without the gloves, but then she goes to the dead body and immediately she has gloves. Like there's stuff like that. And then 2, with the tone, talking about how this is supposed to be True Detective world, murder mystery. But then she's like cutting in line at the library, and then she like slams the evidence of the library card on the desk and then folds it, by the way, and then the next shot it never was folded. If you fold paper, it's gonna have a crease. So it's just like some continuity issues that I noticed, and a little bit of tone roller coaster-ness. Like if you're really trying to fool the audience that this is going to be a true crime show, go full bore. Don't mess with the miscongeniality skit that this was in the library where, Sandra Bullock is coming into the coffee shop to skip the line. She's skipping the line of the library, I guess. It seemed just like it, honestly. The comparison is pretty funny. But the facade doesn't last long, and Agnes, or Agatha, is able to break through her spell with the help of the teen. Now, we don't know his name, but if you've looked online, you've probably already seen the spoiler. It's a possible spoiler, so just be careful when you're theory crafting and stuff online. And he is kind of like a fanboy. He's kind of like a witch fanboy. And at one point, Agatha does call him her familiar. So we'll see where that goes. And I'm trying not to let the the spoiler that I saw online spoil the rest of the show, because who knows? And we actually don't know who he is because there's a really cool effect that happens whenever he tries to say something about his personal life. There's like a hex or a sigil that goes across his face, and also the sound goes out when he starts telling his backstory in the car. So we don't really know who he is. The only thing we know about him is that he dresses like he shops at Hot Topic, and that he has a boyfriend. And he's acting pretty cliche way of one of these types of characters, I will say. It's just the cliche voice. I don't know if that's how he usually is. I don't know. That's really only the amount of character development that we have for him at this time. For some reason, he wants Agatha back. Kathryn Hahn, who is playing Agatha, I think it looks like she's having a really good time. This is a weird move to have a TV show about, especially a mini-series, if there isn't going to be a season 2, or I'm curious if she's going to be in any other properties moving forward, like maybe a Fantastic Four, different universe, that kind of thing, or anything else in the future. But it's kind of crazy to have her own show. She was a side character in WandaVision, and then the main protagonist of WandaVision at the very end. Or if it was Agatha all along, I guess. So I guess it was all along her, which of course is not my favorite part of that show. I wish it was just Wanda going Breaking Bad the whole time. I think that would have been a lot better. They replayed the same themes in Doctor Strange Mom. So planning, knowing what you're doing. But I think Catherine Hahn really does a good job here. I think she a little overacting when she's in the True Detective world, I will say. But the rest of the time it fits the tone of the show. It's just that very beginning where they're trying to do True Detective that it seems a little off. The rest of the time though, it does fit the same tone as what they're going for, which I've seen a lot of comparisons to, you know, like Hocus Pocus, that kind of 90s-esque sitcom, witches, that kind of thing. And Agatha is on her way to get her powers back. They've been taken. She can't do any magic. Wanda was able to take them all away from her, so she's going to walk the road to get her power back. Now, the other person who kind of knocks her out of the spell is Aubrey Plaza's Rio Vidal. The only thing we know about her is that she does have powers. She uses them on Agatha, and she is about to basically murder her with a blade. So I'm not sure what kind of witch she is, but it does look like her and Agatha have a history. Now, why do they hate each other? Why did that relationship deteriorate? I'm sure we're going to find out. Actually, I'm not sure we're going to find out because I have been shocked by Disney TV before. So let's just say I hope we find out. And if you've seen any of the trailers, you know that Aubrey Plaza's character does show up with them on the road. Curious how she gets there and everything. But her character is another one who is inside of the True Detective world, kind of playing it up. But what messes with me is if you're showing this is just what Agatha sees in her head, I don't know if we needed that, or if it was just supposed to be a fun callback to what they did in WandaVision with the sitcom and how they were living within the sitcom. But then it was at that one, it was Wanda manipulating the world. In this one, it's Agatha living in her own delusional world, kind of. And then everyone else has been playing up it, including her neighbor and, you know, her other neighbors. And it's all been an illusion inside of her head, and in the outside world, she's kind of just been a crazy person. Including one point you see the car that she uses, and it's inside of her house, and it's like cereal boxes and stuff that were made. I don't know who made the car setup, or if it was her, or maybe a neighbor. Maybe a neighbor set it up. I don't think we're gonna see any of those answers, but that was kind of funny. Aubrey Plaza's character and the teen are able to get Agatha, I almost called her Catherine, Agatha out of her spell, and she's now powerless. She notices that she's powerless, so she's going to walk the road. Now, what is the road? It's basically the yellow brick road, and at the end you get your wish or your power or something like that. Impossible for Agatha to do without a coven, because a coven can then have enough power to summon the road. So we have our quest. And we need to gather a band of merry witches and get on our way. We get a couple of witches, including a potions. They each have their own thing. So there's a potions expert, there's a protector witch, there's a psychic witch, divination, and then they needed a green witch. And that was, I think, going to be the last name on the list that the divination witch gave her. It was going to be Aubrey Plaza's character because it was a black heart, and Aubrey Plaza's character made sure to tell you that she has a heart, it's just black. So does it mean that it's dead? Does it mean that she's a green witch? I'm not quite sure. But she then goes and talks to her neighbor, who is quite a good gardener, and they're able to have her pulled down into the coven. And there's a big time push because the Salem 7 are after Agatha. What does all this mean? Not quite sure. I don't know if they're there to kill her. I don't know if they're there to like torture her. or anything like that, but she just knows that the Salem 7 are going to show up at her place before nighttime on the next day. So she only has like 1 day to gather these women into a coven and then go on the road. The timeline is very, very fast for this. And after talking to them, which I was worried about because the story started feeling the same. The potions expert almost had the same exact story as the divination expert, which was like, oh, they took something from you, you did this, you did that, you wanted to be this person, they did this to you, but we can get it back. And it's like, it felt kind of the same, but I'm glad that they kind of did something else for the Protector Witch, and then something else, of course, for the Green Witch. The dialogue here is, again, kind of cringe. I will say that its takes on humor are falling flat on me. Again, I don't know if I'm the audience for these jokes, or are they pushing their humor too much in certain places. I don't know what to call it, really. It's supposed to be kind of, the tone's kind of like jokey all around the place. It does seem like it's kind of not sitcom-y, but it's not the most serious show out there. It is kind of goofy, but at least we do get some like backstories for each of these characters and their own personal journeys too. So that I'll applaud it for. I don't know if that is meant to be applauded for, or that's just a basic story need. Like, you need to have this in your story for it to work. But good on you, Marvel. That's all right. And really the only thing that I've seen people complaining about was the partial nudity in the show so far, which was her buttocks while walking away from her neighbor. Like, if they're okay with it, I thought this was meant to be a kids thing, but everyone has a butt, I guess. And I guess even though, like, it's just a butt, I guess. I don't know what you watch. I don't know what you let your kids watch. But that's really the only complaint that I've seen online, other than also like the cliche character of the teen and who he is. I thought he was maybe going to be like a Mephisto character masquerading. Some people are saying that Aubrey Plaza is Mephisto. I don't even know if Mephisto is going to be involved since they didn't even know who he was last time. It's possible they Google searched Mephisto and now he's in the show. And again, this is the second Disney property, Disney TV show, to have witches and then to have some sort of chant. Now, I will say, at least they hired some, no offense to the Acolyte songwriter for The Power of One, The Power of Two, The Power of Many. At least they have a better song this time. The only part of the song that I really don't enjoy is that when Agatha starts singing, you can tell it's a completely different microphone. I wish that, and this is just a nitpicky filmmaking thingy, they actually use the playback of the song that they recorded, and they're trying to make this song kind of a thing in the marketing. They're trying to make it a thing that everyone plays or chants or something, maybe makes TikToks for. But it's at least more catchy. At least it's a song versus, you know, the power of one, the power of two, the power of many. So again, they hired the right people for this. It sounds like a song that they would sing, and at least it's sort of catchy. I've kind of been singing a little bit. All in all, the show is not the worst thing that Marvel has produced. All in all, it's not the worst thing that Disney has produced. I'm digging it. Yeah, I was entertained the whole time. And I don't know who this show is for. It probably isn't for me, but I'm a somewhat Marvel completionist, except for She-Hulk. Still haven't watched She-Hulk. Let me know. It's been a whole year that I said I was going to watch She-Hulk and I didn't. So let me know if I should. But I don't know if this show is for me. I'm having an okay time with it so far, and I'm curious to see what they do. And it is Halloween season, so this is kind of like the first introduction into that, other than all the horror movies I've been watching. But yeah, it's not the worst thing that they've made. It's not the worst thing. I'm actually pleasantly surprised and kind of happy. Now, the press has seen the next 2 episodes, and I've heard a little bit about those 2 episodes, and I'm hoping that they stay on the same path, same path, same road. And again, I'm not sure if I'm gonna be covering this every week. There might not be enough to talk about. We'll see in the next week what we have. But overall, not the worst thing. Not the worst thing. It's competently made besides the nitpicks that I have. It looks pretty good. They actually have sets. They have the neighborhood back from WandaVision. It was kind of funny that we can't see Elizabeth Olsen as Wanda on there. And we just see like the back and them trying to hide who it is, which is, it's kind of funny. That's kind of funny. It's a little bit inside baseball, but yeah. Overall, not the worst thing that Marvel's produced so far. Like I said, we're only 2 episodes in, and they're keeping the teen's identity a secret. And there's not much that we know about him. There's not much we know about him. Is he a warlock? You know, does he have some magical powers? Is he a warlock in making? Is he really just a fanboy of Agatha? We'll see. There isn't really much character stuff that we know about him because they toned out his backstory while they're driving in the car for mystery sakes. But the effect again was really cool with the sigil going over his mouth whenever he said his name. So that's really all I got to say. Nothing. It's not the worst thing that Marvel's produced, and so far, but we still have time. We still have time. It was only the first 2 episodes so far. Let me know what you guys think of Agatha All Along. Is it going to be Agatha All Gone Wrong? Is it going to be the best series that Disney Marvel has produced? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you liked the video, feel free to subscribe. Also, feel free to smash the like button. It really does help out the channel get pushed out to new people, to new friends. Yeah, we'll see what this show's about. Didn't hate it. Didn't hate it. That's the best thing I can say. I didn't hate it. But thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.